in the 1950s, across the industrial world, adolescent sexuality was a taboo topic everywhere. But it changed in parts of the world, and it did not in the US. And one of the reasons is that in other countries, teenage sexuality is primarily seen as an issue of relationships, of love. In the Netherlands, which I've studied, the one well-known sex education program is called Long Live Love. And if you anchor adolescent sexuality in the context of love and relationships, oftentimes it becomes less fraught, less dangerous than it is in the United States, where adolescent sexuality is often seen as a matter of raging hormones that affect the individual. A second reason is that in other industrial countries, teenagers got access to contraception, and they were able to reduce, the countries were able to reduce the teenage pregnancy rate, taking it out of the area of danger and lives ruined, which did not happen in the United States. Well, the first thing that I would say is don't lead with the negative. Oftentimes, parents are very worried when it comes to these topics, and they lead with all the dangers that their children face. And teenagers typically know about those dangers, and they can close down or feel worried. So I think it's better to lead with what you hope for your children, for their life, whether it comes to sexuality and relationship and drinking and so forth. So don't go down the negative route initially. The second is understand that these issues take place in the context of relationships. It's much easier to talk about sex when you talk about first crush, or who do you like, or what's going on, and how relationships can progress. Same with alcohol. In what context do young people feel that they want to drink alcohol? Are they out with their friends and so forth? And the third thing that I think is very important is that parents emphasize that the conversation itself is important and that they're available for that. So they may tell their children, this is what I hope for you, this is what I want for you. But even more important is for them to say, but whatever happens, I'm available to you, and I want you to come and talk to me if you're dealing with things. And what we see over the last 15 years is that, of course, there's been a sea change in attitudes towards homosexuality. One of the fastest, most dramatic changes in attitudes around sexual culture that we've seen in this country. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with adolescent sexuality. It's remained in this country a taboo topic in many areas, but as the conversation opens, for instance, around homosexuality, it's possible that these attitudes will also change.